House of Waine is a long-standing client of Small Marketing's. It's been under our banner for a number of years. We're located in Karen in Nairobi. So it's a great kind of city stop for guests who are maybe staying a couple of nights in Nairobi. We're about 40 minutes from the airport here. And so if guests are staying a couple of nights, which we totally recommend, especially if they've come from the States or somewhere that's a much longer kind of time zone difference, I would totally recommend a night or two to just get onto the time zone before heading off on the craziness that is safari. Particularly if you're, flying straight out on safari, you're waking up the next morning at sort of, 5 or 6 a.m. And just having that downtime in Nairobi and to explore as well, because there is so much to do in this area. So this is a little overview of the property. We'll send you all of the information in our follow-up about a little bit about the location. You can see there sort of what rate we're sort of looking at, and also the access. So from Nairobi International, we're about 45 minutes, and then we're about 20 minutes from Wilson. So a lot of guests who are flying then out of Wilson on safari, they can get there within about 20 minutes. This is just for those of you who maybe are not as familiar with Kenya. This gives you a bit of an idea of where we are. So Nairobi is just down here. And really this is your jumping off point to a lot of the safari destinations. Of course, you do then have Mombasa down here as well, and various airports along the coast too. We do operate a day rate as well. So House of Waine has had this running for a number of years. It's a great opportunity for guests to, especially if they've got a kind of full day, I think particularly at the end of their trip, if they've got a late flight out, but they're landing in Nairobi quite early, they can then take the day, they can relax at the hotel, make use of the pool. They get a 3-course lunch or dinner included in this, and there are also changing rooms at the pool pavilion that they're welcome to make use of too. So just to kind of freshen up a little bit before that long flight and just have some downtime in the beautiful leafy gardens at House of Waine. So as you can see, incredible lush gardens. We're on a 2-hectare plot. It's a beautiful space that feels like a kind of oasis in the city. You're greeted, oh, excuse me, what's happened there? Sorry. You're greeted by our staff on arrival, coming over the bridge over the pond, and it's always a really warm welcome. We've got a lovely big lounge area inside. It's really cozy in here for those cooler Nairobi nights, and during warmer weather, we've obviously got the whole garden, and guests can dine outside in the garden, and they can make use of that space as well. But it is nice to have that sort of cozying up by the fire on those cooler evenings. And as I say, we've got all that outdoor space for during those warmer nights, to have a drink on the veranda upstairs, have dinner or lunch set up in the gardens is really lovely. We do have a lovely big pool. It is heated, and this is kind of a really lovely space, particularly if you've got guests making the most of that day room. And that pavilion here is where those changing rooms are. They're just kind of round the back there. And so those on the day room can make the most of that space, and have a shower and get changed there. This is actually the 2-bedroom cottage here. So when I talk about that a little bit later, just to give you sort of reference of where it is, you've got the pool. Off to the right of this image over here is the house. And then we've got our 2-bedroom cottage just here. So we'll chat about that when we go kind of through the rooms. Beautiful dining. It's all really hearty and wholesome, and all served really beautifully as well. So as I say, we've got that lovely dining space, but I personally just love dining out in those gardens on a lovely warm evening. In terms of the rooms are all decorated slightly differently. So we have 10 rooms and then 1 suite. They're all really big, spacious rooms. So for those of us who might be used to a European city hotel in somewhere like London or Paris, these are much more spacious and really comfortable. So it is a lovely place to have a couple of nights because you do feel like you can just spread out and relax. They're all decorated slightly differently, all with sort of odes to different parts of Kenyan culture. So we've got Sahara, we've got Safari. As you can see, all of the rooms have beautiful big windows, letting in a lot of light, and some of them even have these little balconies, so you can make the most of that garden space as well. Victoria is actually named after Victoria Falls, but also the Victorian kind of era, because that was a big era here in Kenya. We've got a lovely ball and claw bath in here. Always check if you've got guests who are really specific about wanting to have a bath or a shower. You know, all rooms have a shower, but not all rooms have a bath. Malika Suite is actually the largest room. This is our one suite. We've got a lounge area. I think I've got a photo in the next slide, just behind the bed there. And it's a really gorgeous big space. And we can add in an extra bed in here as well for children. You've got a lovely balcony area too, to make the most of and sit and have a coffee on in the sunshine. So that is actually named after the matriarch of the family. So the hotel is actually owned by family. There's 5 children, and Waine, the letters make up the first letter of each child's name, and so Malika is named after their late mother, which is just a really lovely ode to her, and it is the most luxurious room here. Manyata, we then have with the gorgeous oranges, and you can see that light just kind of streaming in from that balcony. And then Pwani, I actually stayed in Pwani the last time I was here. It feels beautiful and spacious. It's actually one of the slightly smaller rooms, but it's by no means small. It was, yeah, it just felt like a really lovely space to chill out in. And actually, while I was here, first time I was here, I didn't feel hugely well. I was at the end of quite a long trip. And the team just really looked after me so well. They really made sure I had everything I needed, and they really took care of me, which just felt really nice. It felt really lovely and homely when, you know, particularly when you're away and you're not feeling amazing. So that was just really lovely. All really lovely big bathrooms and really light and spacious as well. And so as you can see, they're all really spacious rooms, but all slightly different, all slightly unique. So when booking, always kind of check which room you kind of think will suit your clients best. Kanini and Makan. Kanini is our smallest room, but it is optional interleading into Makan, and we can do twins and doubles in either of those rooms. Makan has the option of having that sofa bed pulled out as well, so we can do a triple here really easily. So that's perfect for families. We obviously do have the 2-bedroom cottage, which I'll chat about, but if you've got guests who have got maybe, you know, 2 or 3 children or teenagers or something like that, I would say this interleading room would be kind of the best option. And what's nice about the hotel being very small is that you can kind of take one sort of almost like a wing, like sort of one end of the hotel if you've got kind of larger families traveling together or multi-generational families as well. So then our 2-bedroom cottage, this I think personally is a really great space for a family with young children. The 2nd bedroom isn't huge. It only has 1 single bed, and then we can obviously add in an extra bed to the parents' bedroom or to this lounge space here. So you've got a lovely lounge and dining area, and a little kitchen too. So particularly for those guests who maybe have young children, maybe even a baby, it's nice to just have their own space set off in the gardens, and where they can just feel like they can spread out and relax. It's a lovely big space. It's really cozy and comfortable. You've got that double bedroom with ensuite bathroom, and then you've got the 2nd bedroom. So as you can see, you've just got the small single bed in here, but we can do things like adding in a cot or adding in another single bed or a sort of rollaway bed as well. And that is with ensuite too. And just all kind of designed in quite a sort of serene and relaxing kind of way. And obviously you're right there next to the pool outside too. We do have conference facilities here. It's also just really nice to have a space to get some work done. I know particularly when I've traveled here, I've needed to get some work done. So it's always nice to have a lovely quiet space. We do also have our kind of library and kind of workspace as well that is just off that room. And so that, you know, those guests who need to get work done, and I think we're all kind of these days having that sort of hybrid work sort of style, and so just to be able to get a few emails done in a quiet space, I think is really nice. And then of course you've got the nearby activities, and I think that's one of the main draws of kind of spending a couple of nights in Nairobi is not only just kind of taking a second before heading off on a safari that might be going on, for multiple nights and maybe multiple locations, is to have kind of a day where actually you go out and visit. They've got the golf club here, so keen golfers. It's a beautiful space, and it's nice to have a sort of lunch here as well in the sunshine. There's the giraffe sanctuary, where, as you can see here, guests can feed the giraffes. You've also got the Daphne Sheldrake Elephant Orphanage, not far. And we do also have the Karen Museum as well, so the Karen Blixen Museum. So actually, when Orla came here, she's with a group of agents. We just had a day kind of planned. So she just had that day planned, where they took the agents around to sort of do all these activities. And it's kind of a perfect one day. You can have lunch out, or to be honest, half the time you're driving back past the hotel anyway. So you can have lunch at the hotel even in the middle of the day. And then carry on. So there is lots to do in the local area. And as I say, like when I was here and sort of had that lovely day, you are literally driving past the hotel. There's also plenty of fantastic shopping to be done in Nairobi as well. So if guests have got a day or two, they can head out to some of the kind of markets or the sort of craft spaces as well. And there's various art galleries too. So there is actually quite, a lot to get done in Nairobi and to see. So it is really nice spending a day here. You don't feel like you're kind of just hanging out at the hotel and relaxing. There is lots to do as well.